Hello.
Recording. It is now 5 p.m. on Thursday, September 2nd. I call this meeting of the GBC EDC to order. If you would, need to establish a quorum. From my left, please.
Wyrick here.
Johannes here.
Lawrence here.
Simpson here.
Bond here.
Kroll here.
We have a quorum. Please stand and join me in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come together once again to try to take care of the business of this city, the economic business. Pray that everyone will broach these subjects with an open mind and that we will all work together for the common good. Ask that you be with the first responders and the military and everybody involved, especially in the mess down in Louisiana right now. Pray that you would guide, bless, and keep, watch over each of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3, citizens' comments. Comments from citizens are limited to 3 minutes each. No action may be taken. We have one. Ms. Linda Rankin has registered. Linda, I see that you want to wait until item 7, the bylaws, to speak. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. If I forget that, please remind me. Item 4, discuss and/or take action to approve the August 6th, 2021 minutes and the August 12th, 2020 minutes. I will entertain a motion to that effect.
Motion to accept the minutes from the 2 meetings that were noted in our agenda.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. At this time, I need to point out that Robin did not get the August 12th, excuse me, minutes completed in time to post, but she did include the August 10th meeting minutes. At that point, I need to ask for a friendly amendment to approve the August 6th and August 10th minutes that are in the package.
Yes, I'll amend my motion to cover August 6th and August 10th.
Thank you. Mr. Wyrick, do you second that friendly amendment?
Second that friendly amendment.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote from my left.
Wyrick, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Motion passes. Item 5, discuss and/or take action to approve the July financials. May I have a motion, please?
Simpson, motion to approve the July financials.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Johannes, second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. From my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Motion passes. Item 6, discuss and/or take action to direct accountant Teresa Cryer CPA to pay Robin Sikora as interim director of the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation $68,000 annual salary per city council directive. We'll make the note that this is exactly what the previous executive director was making, and the reason for this being on the agenda, it's already been approved by city council directive. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor? Okay, it's on this agenda because it has to be posted in our meeting minutes, voted and approved by our board before Angela will make that change in the accounting. So to that end, do I have a motion?
Motion to direct the accountant to pay Robin Sikora as interim executive director of the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation $68,000 annual salary per city council directive.
Well, that was a mouthful.
It was.
Do I have a second?
Kroll, second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. From my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Roll, yes.
Motion passes. Item 7, discuss and/or take action to approve the 2021 bylaws. Ms. Rankin, if you'd like to speak. Before you do, I'd like to explain to everyone present, including the board, for those of y'all that don't know, these bylaws were originally prepared by the Bylaw Review Committee. They made it in and out several times, have never made it to council. They made approved by the EDC board, but never made it approved by council. Person Ann Mullins made some extensive changes. I personally made all those changes to that document, sent it back to her. She proofed those and approved that all her changes had been made. I sent those to Robin, and the mayor has since made some other changes, mainly wording changes. Mr. Mayor, if you want to address that, I'll let you in a minute. So that's where we stand right now. We're trying to get a formal approval from this board to accept these 2021 revised bylaws as they are currently written and in your package. That said, Ms. Rankin?
Thank you, President Lawrence. My name is Linda Rankin. I live at 184 Ocean Drive in Gun Barrel City. And I want to commend everybody for finally getting these to the final phase where we can get these approved. So kudos to everyone that worked on it. There were just a few things that I noticed that had been taken out of the bylaws, and I wanted to point out something you may not know. And the reason I'm doing that is that the bylaws take precedence over any policies. The policies are to be the details, but the bylaws sort of set the outline of what you are to be guided by. So in removing some of the items that were removed, you missed some of the guidelines. And so if you put them all into policies, they have nothing to fall back on in your bylaws. So I'm just going to point out one of them. It says general duties of the board and goals. If you had just kept the first paragraph, that keeps it in your bylaws, but then they can be explained in your policies, which you can go to your board meetings and workshops and work out later in detail. Another one that was taken out is the board shall expend sales tax revenue in accordance with state law and is approved by the city council. You would want to keep that heading in there, that one paragraph, so that it is dictated in your bylaws. Then you can further put details to it later in a policy. There was one other item I wanted to bring to your attention. Special meetings. You never know when you're going to need a special meeting. And it said in here that special meetings of the Board of Directors shall be held within the city and may be called by the president or the executive director +4. And I would suggest to you, you think about if you really want 4 there, because if it's an urgent matter, you may be able to get 2 that can say, let's do a special meeting. So I'm just bringing that up because it could catch you in the back end. And one other item, I didn't quite understand why you would take out section 2.12 about an audit. That is something that is required, and for whatever reason, it's been removed from your bylaws. So I'm not sure if there's another place now in this new one that you have before you, but if not, I would certainly want to go back and put section 2.12 back in on audit. And last but not least, one thing that has been a problem, and I'm not here to bring up problems, I'm here to get this done. But you have a treasurer that is going to be in custody of the funds and securities of the corporation, but you have removed the privilege for the treasurer to see the contracts and to see if they're being paid on a timely manner, or to see what's going on with those agreements that you already have in place. That's been taken out. So I'm not sure why, but maybe there's some other reasoning that you want to talk to each other about. And then lastly, but you took
I
out
need you to wrap-
contracts.
I need you to wrap it up, please. We're
Okay,
out of time.
contracts were taken out, and I would suggest that contracts still be a part of your bylaws, and then in policy, you can change and make any amendments to those you need. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Let me address a couple of those statements. These changes were made specifically after this board approved the set by Ann Mullins' markups, then to a lesser extent, the mayor's markups. Ann's thought pattern was to remove any redundancy because city policies, Mr. Mayor, I'll let you correct me if you want to, city policies and the other governing documents of the city covered 90% of that. I am surprised by the special meetings. The intent was Ms. Cooper wanted to be able to call special meetings, and Ms. Mullins thought that was a good idea. Apparently some members of council did as well. I had no issue with that. It should be and two. Mr. Cora, was that a typo? Because the intent was to add the executive director's ability, but not to increase the directors from 2 to 4. Can you address that?
It may have been a typo.
You think it was a typo?
It probably was.
Okay, it probably was. So, yeah, it's always been 2. Ms. Rankin, I really appreciate your input and your experience and your leadership in this city. At this point, this board is certainly open to discuss and/or approve, disapprove, table, whatever, but I would like to see, you brought up some very interesting points. I would appreciate it greatly personally if you would write a letter to the council explaining your questions and let them consider that. If we do approve this, let them consider those changes. I don't know how many people on this board have reviewed all of Ms. Mullins' changes and the mayor's changes. I made the changes in an effort to get this by because we've just been fighting this forever. So that said, Mr. Mayor, before I open it to discussion, do you have anything you would like to add? Okay. Okay, thank you. That said, before I open it to discussion, I need a motion, but I would entertain or suggest that we make a motion to accept these bylaws as written, or unless somebody wants to table, either table or accept these bylaws as written with the caveat that the special meetings are called, the 4 is changed to 2. That's the way it always has been. So do I have a motion to table or a motion to approve with that change?
I don't really want to table them, but I want some more discussion on, I get.
I just need a motion at this time, then we can discuss.
Okay.
You want a motion to table?
I really don't want to table it, but I don't want to send this back to council. This has been going so long, and it went down from 14 pages of documents down to 6 pages now. And this last one, I don't even know for sure what has been changed.
Okay.
I didn't get a sheet showing what come from Mulligan that all that's been changed in this new policy they got wrote now.
Okay, if we move to table it, those changes could be forwarded to the board so that you can see what Ms. Mullins took out and then what other small changes that Mr. Mayor made. To answer the bulk of it, those original 16 or 17 pages, at the suggestion of the attorney, they were omitted. The last 8 or 9 pages were omitted because they were stuff that did not belong in the bylaws. And the Mr. Foster, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe the bylaw review committee agreed with that statement. Okay, so that is correct. So that cut it down to about 8 pages. Then with Ms. Mullins' further strikes, it cut it down to the 6 pages. So as that is explanation, do I have a motion to approve or to table?
I'll make a motion, we table it until we get the ones that come down from Mulligan and where we can compare what we're looking at here and what was took out and all.
Okay, do I have a second to the motion to table? Motion dies from lack of a second. We will proceed. Do I have a motion to approve these by this board to submit to council with the change from 4 to 2 for special meetings?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Kroll, second.
Have a motion and a second. Opening to discussion. Mr. Wyrick, to your point, Mr. Sikora, if you would send, if I could get you to send Ms. Mullins' red marks as well as the mayor's red marks to this board so that this board can understand everything that was changed. And guys, I'm doing this, I don't want any secrets or surprises. So that'll give you 2 weeks to review the changes, and if you want to speak against the council passing this or ask them to change it, please review those changes when Robin gets them to you and speak at the council meeting. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, we will vote from my left, please.
Wyrick, no.
Johannes, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Motion passes. Thank you all for your attention to this. This has been a long uphill challenge, and I'm glad that we're able to get it back in council's hands. Again, Mr. Foster, thank you to you and your crew for the work that you guys did on this. Item 8, discuss and/or take action to approve the 2021-2022 budget. In way of explanation, Brandy, I will let you have the floor, please.
Okay, in your packet, you have 2 budgets. Sorry for the confusion. One is in portrait, one is in landscape. Let you get those out. Okay, the landscape budget is the one that we had in our packet last time. And Robin and I have gone over a few changes, namely in office maintenance. You'll see a reduction in, if you're comparing the two. In dues and subscriptions, you'll see a reduction. In professional and board development, in marketing. When you get down to redevelopment and facade grants, the portrait budget is blank. I'm going to suggest that we keep the $225,000 that was in the previous budget. So it is my suggestion that you don't have to follow it, that we, and there's some items that we still want to discuss with the CPA. So I don't think we can approve this budget, but we can certainly discuss it.
So the horizontally printed budget was, if I understand correctly, was the revised 2021 budget. That one.
Yes.
So it is not on the agenda to consider since it got tabled from last month.
Correct, it's for reference.
So we can use it for reference. But the vertically printed budget, you're saying put in 225?
We have nothing there.
I would, yes.
Okay, so right now on page 3, we have new business incentives of 100. So you're saying in redevelopment and facade grants total offered, change that, add 125 or change the 100 to 225?
225.
Are those different line items?
They're separate.
They're separate. So on redevelopment and facade grants, you want to add 125?
No, we want to add 225.
225.
Well, you've already got 100 over on new business incentives.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
So does the 225 include that new business incentives? No?
No.
Okay, so redevelopment facade grants make it 225.
Yes.
That will make the budget surplus a negative roughly 196-ish, 195-ish, 194.
Yes.
Okay,
But then we still have 3 things to discuss with the CPA.
okay, and you're suggesting we have a workshop soon?
Yes.
So I take it that your intent to get this,
Balanced.
to get this passed is, are you, well, I'll take a motion to table or a motion to pass this budget as revised.
I would like a motion to discuss, actually.
Okay? Open to discussion. Well, do we have a second? Motion to
I'll
discuss?
second to discuss it.
Okay, have a motion and second to discuss. Open to discussion.
Man, do I see a lot of I see a lot of spaces down here that, especially under personnel and stuff, that I got a real good question about money there. Not enough money there, and
Okay.
I mean, you got it down there for $149,000, but without knowing what the council's going to bring in as new director and all, that could shoot that, double that. You know, I don't know. So,
In speaking with the mayor, Mayor, correct me if I misquote you here, we fully expect this budget to be revised once a new executive director is hired. This is to get something to work off of. I'm sorry? Right. Right. Okay. Right.
excuse me, Mayor, could we get a mic to the mayor where we can hear all this?
I'm sorry? Oh, okay.
Get a mic
Yeah.
to the mayor or whoever's talking,
Okay,
whoever's
yeah.
talking out there where we can hear what's going on?
Okay, part of the problem here is that this board discussed and/or decided that the budgets from now on will be presented in the same format as city council budget. Brandy is working to that end, but cannot accomplish that yet because Angela is tied up till November.
Correct.
So we've got some work to do before that, and until November before we can get it revised. But if we want to table it, we can work off, as David said, last year's budget. Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Wark, what I was saying is that the negotiation with the consulting firm took an unexpected turn, and there's still some negotiating that I have to do with them. And so once I get through with that process, then we might, the council will probably have a workshop or a meeting and determine what salary cap that we want to put on the job and things of that nature. But we are not there at this point in time. So my encouragement would be to get a budget approved before October 1st. And then once, this would be at least a 3 to 4 month process of getting somebody hired. Once we get somebody hired next, winter, then we can come back and do it. Y'all can do a budget amendment, which this board certainly, some of the folks on this board certainly are familiar with budget amendments and done many. So that's the intent. I mean, I wouldn't get hung up over personnel values at this point in time because they may stay the same. They may go down, they may go up. We don't know at this point in time. So.
Well, I ain't just worried about personnel, Mayor. There's,
Well, that's what you stated.
well, I
So
just said personnel. It's just starting out with. There's personnel, there's marketing, prices in marketing and all. There's even hidden costs, just like we're having tonight. There's hidden stuff that's coming in, that's took place that we didn't even know about. It's fixing to hit us on prices and dollar marks and projects and stuff like this here that we're not for sure about. And this Project 334, the money and things that's going to affect that there that we might not even know yet that's going to affect the EDC in the future here out of our pocket and stuff, and it's going to affect our bank rolls. We don't know how much money we're rolling over out of all of our accounts for this next year into this budget even yet. So there's a lot just not just adding a budget, putting a budget saying we're going to make supposedly we're going to get $602,000 next year. Well, that's we're just shooting for that. We might not get that. And we're going to try to put a budget together hoping we're going to get that amount. So, I mean, it's just like the city. The city does the same thing. They put a budget together hoping they're going to get that amount of money. So I just want to make sure that the budget we put together is close enough and we're going to have money in there to keep running, not pull it out of our reserves to make the EDC run.
Well, Mr. Rock, to that point, I would say that if you want a sure thing, bet on yesterday's news, not tomorrow's, because there is no sure thing. The amount of revenue that comes in is a guess every year. I would say that every year we have exceeded the revenue coming in that the city treasurer has projected that we will hit. There was one year that we were a little close on it, but we still exceeded that amount. Last year, we exceeded it by $600,000 in the city. So you're not going to know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's true.
You don't have a clue what's going to happen tomorrow. All you can do is plan, and that's what a budget is for, is to set your plan and then work your plan. And as adjustments happen, then you make, or as adjustments are needed to be made, you make those adjustments. So if you go through the first quarter and you see the revenues dropped off substantially, you come back and you rework your budget. It's the same as doing a household budget. Not much different.
What we could do, this is just discussion phase. We've got total of 325, the 225 and the 100. We could knock that 325 in half to cover the first 6 months, hoping that we get an executive director hired by that time, knowing that, to the mayor's point, and I completely agree with that, it is a budget. It's an estimate. It's a best guess. But I think there's great social import to having an approved budget that we can spend out of, that we can work off of. So, Brandy, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I agree 100% with you and the mayor about this. And overall, I think with some of the cuts we've made, I think overall it is a pretty conservative budget.
Well, and Brandy, and Mr. Wyrick, I don't know if you had a chance to go and look at each category and compare it old to new, because a lot of them went down in the new budget. There's a lot of cutting that's happened in the new budget on different sections of the budget. So like Brandy said, I think there was some more conservative measures taken than we were taking on the past budget. And certainly I can see us doing what Mr. Lawrence suggested with the bulk that we were looking at right now, splitting it and then coming back in 6 months and looking at that as by then, we might have an executive director. But just looking at it overall, it looks like we've definitely tried to trim, I hate to say trim the fat because everybody overuses that term, but I think a lot of stuff was trimmed down from what we had in excess before, maybe not excess, but we just didn't need it like we thought.
Correct.
So, just a thought.
In addition, in approximately 3 months' time, I fully anticipate Brandy having the opportunity to sit down with Angela, get this budget in a format that matches the city council's budget, city budget, and represent it as a revised budget again, even before we get an executive director.
Yes.
Okay,
May I say something?
absolutely.
Okay. I just want to point out that our commitment, our funds that we are committing to the Pier 334 project are $2 million. It's not like a fluctuating number. We're providing property that's valued at that amount. This, at the very end of this budget, was a $500,000 loan we just got. We spent $325,000 of it on a property that completes the project over there. There's $175,000 left. The reason I put to discuss with CPA was because we might want to consider putting that $175,000 in a different account that's dedicated to additional expenses that may come up for that project. So,
Thank you. And to add on to that, we did close on that property yesterday, is that right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Robin signed the papers. We got a cashier's check. That 325 was actually 318 something, 319-ish, less than 319. So that is a done deal. That property is closed. Further discussion?
Brandy, I want to throw this in there right fast. I talked to Robin, I give her a copy of all this. I was hoping we could get a workshop together to be able to go over all of this. But I went back and started looking, trying to see what was brought to council over budgets and all back in 2019. Resolution R 2019-006 was a resolution for the EDC budget, which I got a copy of it here. I'll give her a copy. And I was going to try to get out back to you to give us a better knowledge of what was sent to council, which really, I'm going to show you right as this meeting's over of it, that really will blow your mind out compared to what this is, what we got right now. So I was hoping we'd have a workshop before we could get some of this stuff ironed out and make it more understandable to everybody, and everybody could be on the same page, but it's not going to happen. It don't seem like until November or whatever, if it happens then, so. But that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Any board member is certainly within their rights, certainly, and expectations to contribute to this discussion. I'm sure Brandy wouldn't have any objection to your tagging along when she meets with Angela to ask any questions that you have. We need to get this ironed out in the format that the board has directed and in the format that the city follows. And there's been some discussion of other outside proofers, and that would facilitate that process. That said, our only motion here is to discuss. So if we're through with discussion, I would entertain a motion either to table or to pass this budget as revised with the addition of the 225, or a motion to pass this budget as revised with the 225 coming down to 112.50 and the 100 on the following page coming down to 50. Do we have a motion to any of those effects?
What was the last suggestion?
Pardon me?
What was the last
The
suggestion?
100 come down to 50, cut that in half, cut the 225 in half in the effort to facilitate the first 6 months of something working capital.
So this is 125. No, 112.50.
112.50.
112.50?
And this would be 50, new business incentives.
I would be comfortable with that.
Do I have a motion to any of those effects?
I will, Simpson, move to approve the budget with changing or adding 11250 to redevelopment and facade grants, and 50,000 for new business incentives. I like that.
What does that make our total?
112,500, sorry.
112,500.
112,500?
Yeah.
And then 50, and then Robin, you would have to give us a new surplus that's in the negative.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to that effect. Do I have a second?
Kroll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote for my right, please. Mr. Kroll, that will start with you.
Kroll, yes.
Bond, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Johannes, yes.
Wyrick, yes.
Motion passes. I just changed the vote for my right, to see if y'all were awake. Mr. Kroll, you failed miserably.
He failed. He was.
Okay.
Learn more from failure than you do from winning.
Item 9, discuss and/or take action to approve paying a past due property tax bill for the Browning property in the amount of $4,016.89 for years 2019 and 2020. When I first saw this on the agenda, I was as shocked as anyone else. Robin and I discussed this, and she has since gone back to the EDC attorney, who has included a package, a response that is now in your package. I will entertain a motion to discuss and/or to approve this.
I need to add something to that item.
Sorry?
There's an additional tax bill. So for Kaufman County, we owe $4,016.89. For Henderson County, we owe $2,486.37.
Ooh,
Wow.
I knew that was coming.
okay. When the sale of this property came up, Ms. Cooper and I had multiple discussions, and I was assured at that time that she had done due diligence and everything was up to date and all the taxes were paid. I don't know how we missed this, how the bank missed this, how we missed it, how Jeff missed it, et cetera. Robin, anything you want to add before we?
I have asked the attorney that's collecting the funds, and I have asked our attorney. I mean, I don't have any reason. I don't have an answer for why. I just know that we do owe the money. We own the property now. Now, we don't pay property tax from the time we own it, but there is still tax due that's
Okay, it's
in
my
order to get a
understanding
clean
that
title.
one can't sell property with taxes owed. So can we go back to the bank and recoup that money?
I'm not sure.
Should have been disclosed.
Okay. We would spend another $30 or so waiting another month to pay this.
Okay.
That said, I need a motion to table, a motion to table with the direction to talk to Jeff to see if we can recover the money from the bank, a motion to approve, something. I need to know how y'all want to proceed on this, please. Then we can discuss it.
I think we need to make a motion to discuss first before we make a motion to,
Okay, have a motion to discuss. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion to discuss by Mr. Wyrick and a second by Mr. Honest. Open to discussion.
The total amount due is $6,503.26.
2001.
503.
Robin, get real close to your mic, please.
$6,503.26.
Since you've talked to them, Robin, yeah, I guess you talked to the tax collectors, and that'll be all that we actually owe on that piece of property totally?
Yes, it may be a little bit less, and I'm checking on that because we bought it at the 1st
Okay.
of December in 2020. So that month that we owned it should be
I was going to bring it up
tax-free.
tonight because when I saw this Kaufman County, then I knew there was a Henderson County somewhere that was there. And the only reason I was even wanting to discuss this here, whenever that property was bought, we were told by the executive director that all the taxes and all was being paid off on all this. And there was extra money that was pulled out of EDC and put in that to make sure that was all covered. And now here we are, being zapped with $6,000 something. And that's what my biggest worry, that my concern is on this board all the time is money being hit that we don't know about out here. This comes back and bites us because these projects are not being thoroughly looked at, checked out, and done correctly. So with that said, it looks like Robin's done her paperwork that we actually need somebody to do for a change. So, thank y'all.
Further discussion?
Bon, is this for the old Lakeside Cafe?
Yes,
Okay, so David Westerfield has not purchased it yet.
not yet. We need to have a clear title for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
To that end, we can't legally sell it to him without those taxes being paid, which begs the question, how did the bank legally sell it to us without those taxes being paid?
Okay.
So,
We bought the property at auction. I don't know if that's a
I
different
guess then
situation.
it becomes incumbent on us to do our own research.
So wouldn't that be our attorney doing our research?
Well, the attorney missed it. Somebody missed it, I don't know.
He had to look at the.
Okay, further discussion before I accept a motion to do something with this?
So we can't sell the property because it has taxes owed.
I believe that's the case. Mr. Ray, do you have an answer to that? Robin, do you know the answer to that?
I don't know that.
It should have been paid from the.
It certainly should have.
Should have taken the taxes from the purchase price. It was,
We can certainly table this for another month, let Robin talk to Jeff and dig into it, see what our recourse is, and, it only goes up $30, $40 to hold it another month.
I'll make a motion for us to hold on it for a month and let Jeff and Robin do discovery and then bring back what they find so that we don't do something we don't need to do.
Okay, I have a motion to table. Do I have a
Second.
second? And a second. Discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote again from my right.
Kroll, yes.
Bond, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Johannes, yes.
Wyrick, yes.
Motion to table passes. This item is tabled. Robin and Jeff will do some research, and it'll come back before this board next month. It'll be an agenda item again unless Robin puts it under old business. Take either way. Item 10, discuss and/or take action to have an abandoned boat removed from Big Chief Landing. We have a bid in our package from Doug Lander for $2,500. Robin, do you want to address this before we open it to anything?
No, I would say it's your choice. If we want to spend that money, that's the lowest bid we got. It could be good PR for us, cleaning up the lake. We've got Trash Bash coming up September 18th and 19th at Cedar Creek Lake. It's also something that can just sit there. I mean, we can just leave it there, and eventually the lake will have to take care of it.
Okay, the initial discussions involved the hotel developer's site visit for the Big Chief Landing, and we were going to try to get the boat out of the water prior to that. That deadline kind of came and went real quickly. We had to get permission, we had to get the city manager to weigh in, et cetera, et cetera. The owner of the boat, previous owner of the boat, apparently no longer owns it. It was dumped by somebody. That person is on the Sep02 video. They know who it is. He's in northern Egypt, I think, and doesn't want anything to do with it. The water district actually has authority for that. They will get it out, but it'll probably take them 6 months to get it out. Since it's not impeding traffic, they are in no hurry. It is certainly an eyesore, whether from the Big Chief development or just people coming into the city. So that's a little bit of history. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything you want to add to that? Robin, you have anything you want to add?
No,
Okay, I'm sorry? I have not looked at it this week. I looked at it last week.
No, it's there. I was there today. I was there today. I rode by today to see if anything had happened, knowing that we had this tonight, and it was still there today.
Apparently, somebody hooked up straps to it and tried to pull it out or something, and
Yeah.
then turned around and left immediately. Yes, sir.
We didn't have a motion to discuss, just so we're clear.
I don't know what it was.
We're out of protocol.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. The only thing I do have to add is that I did speak with the fire chief, and he and I both are divers. He said with about 3 good airbags, which would cost about $2,500, he could float it and pump it out, and then we could have it where a wrecker could take it out. But so I did just want to throw that out at you as well. But Robin is absolutely right. The Tarrant Regional Water District told us they're in no hurry, that eventually they will come get it with a crane, but they're in no hurry because it's not posing a threat. Personally, I'm concerned about somebody messing with it and it's sinking on top of them, then it is a threat, and then it's going to be our problem, so, or y'all's, the EDC's problem, so.
It's currently on the bottom, or bottomed out, if you will.
Is it? Okay.
But it could certainly shift and sink further.
I hadn't looked at it in a couple of weeks, so I wasn't sure how far it'd gone down since then, so.
The $2,500 airbags, is that to purchase the airbags?
Yes, sir, we'd have to purchase them, yeah. And I believe that was the cost, but I wouldn't want to hang my hat on that figure. I'd want him to make a phone call and double check it, as much as everything's gone up in the last year, so I wouldn't ask for a motion on that tonight from y'all, but.
Does the possibility exist to latch onto it and just drag it further up and let it self-drain?
I think it's too heavy for that. I think it would probably fall apart in the lake, and then we'd have a
Then the water
leaks and
district would
everything
have to
else.
take
Yeah, who knows what we'd have, so, yeah. Then we'd have a bigger mess. But on the other side of the coin, you will have when construction starts out there and new walls goes in and things of that nature, there will be excavators out there and things of that nature that can handle it, so, which will be on down the road some. But it is an eyesore. It could be a danger, but that's strictly y'all's decision. And like I said, if y'all would rather buy the airbags, I can get with the chief tomorrow and find out exactly what they'd cost you and get back with you and let you know. It was just a conversation he and I had in passing one day, and I just thought it might be something y'all might be interested in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for discussion, I mean, I would be concerned that if you waited much longer, the integrity of the boat, anytime anything's under the water, you're risking integrity of that. And if it starts breaking apart, that 2,500 can go to 5,000 or whatever pretty fast.
I think it could be a benefit to get that equipment for the fire department, if they're wanting to do it.
The only thing I worry about the whole thing is where we're all jumping off here is the legal action on all this. Once it's pulled, if we pull it out of the water, what's the legal deal, our responsibility and all on it?
Jeff says that we're covered, is that correct?
I mean, because the Water Bureau pulls it out, or if you have one of these record services or whatever come and pull it out, it's totally different compared when we pull it out as far as EDC. You know, we fall under a little different deal than just the city going down there and pulling it out. And the only thing I'm worried about next, if we go down there and pull this thing out, who's the next John Doe that's going to come down there and throw his boat off in there, inspect us and go down there and pull it out? I mean, I can't see us, you know, us turn around and every time somebody goes down there and we go pay for it. So that's just my view. Tarrant Water owns everything within a certain zone down there, no matter what. So the best thing is us just put pressure on them to come get that thing out.
I don't know how much pressure you could put on them. We could offer to make a $1,000 donation if they'd come get it within 30 days or something.
I don't know. You could always call certain channels.
Robin has exhausted those channels, I think. So, that's kind of where we are.
Yep.
That said, I would entertain a motion to take action on this, to not do it, to do it, to table it, whatever y'all want to do.
I want to make a motion, we don't take no action on it.
They would take no action
Take no action on it.
and let the water district handle it?
That's it.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Wyrick to that effect. Do I have a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Do I have a further motion?
I make a motion that we approve to have the abandoned boat removed from Big Chief Landing and use the bid from Doug Lander for $2,500.
I have a motion from Mr. Kroll. Do we have a second?
Simpson, second.
And a second. Any discussion?
Do we need to amend that there for more money, and it's going to take more than $2,500 to remove it?
Was that a hard dollar bid, Robin?
It's a
That was
written
that was a
bid.
hard dollar bid.
He gave us a written bid.
Okay.
Further discussion? Mr. Kroll, I assume that your motion includes awarding that bid to Mr. Lander for $2,500, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the second approves that?
Yes.
Okay, further discussion?
Robin,
Yes.
how many bids did we get?
Just this one. We had another verbal bid from someone for 5,000 to 6,000.
Okay.
This was the only one I got in writing.
Did the verbal one have any environmental statements in it about containing any possible leaking fuel, oil?
Not that I'm aware of.
Does this Lander Marine have anything in his bid that covers that? Because once you
No.
start moving that, there could be fuel.
Well, there
I don't know
is,
whether it was,
there is
whether it's
fuel
a
and
diesel.
oil. You can see that there's fuel and oil leaking from it where it is right now.
And I'm surprised that that hadn't already been
Right.
addressed by Tarrant Regional.
If we can take pictures of that, we may be able to put some pressure on the water district to move it up. So we could certainly table this for a month if we wanted to, or we can approve it with a friendly amendment that we take pictures of the fuel spill and present it to the water district and see if they would move their schedule up, with the intent that if they can do it within the next 30 days, we let them do it. If not, we get Mr. Lander to do it.
And Doug, just a question, does our fire department have the capability to use the floating barriers to contain that? Okay, I just really worry about low bid.
Yeah, well, we could certainly specify that Mr. Lander siphon the fuel out of the truck.
One thing about it, y'all's talking about stuff now. You talking about leaking fuel and stuff in the water and all down there? You've just made us know, we know about it now. Those things, really by law right now, we're supposed to get berms down there and put around that thing, protect it, to keep it from leaking any further.
We're not, it's not our,
City
it's,
should be required.
it is not our property, it's the water district's.
It's on
Mr.
the-
Foster,
on
did
the
you have a
way.
question?
So, I mean,
Hold on, Mr. Foster.
No.
He's
Hauls
going
it
to take
to
it
the
to the dump. He looked at it for salvage, and he said he would haul it to the dump for us.
So do we want to vote on this motion as it is? Do we want to friendly amend it to presenting to the water district that there is leakage into the water? And if they can get it out within 30 days, negate this award? Or what would this board like to do?
I say we move forward, but up to Keith's point, if you wait much longer, that oil and gas will be a real issue. That's why I think the longer we wait, the worse it's gonna be.
Okay.
That thing's water does terrible things to a boat.
Okay, this was your motion, so there's no friendly amendment to the motion. Further discussion, or can we move to vote? Hearing no further discussion, we will move to the vote. The motion is to have award Mr. Lander the contract for $2,500 to remove the abandoned boat at Big Chief that is in the water. It's in the water at Big Chief Landing, not on our property, and haul it off to the dump. Vote from my right, please.
Kroll, yes.
Bond, no.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, did you vote no?
No.
Okay, so that's one no. Lawrence, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Wyrick, no.
Motion passes 4-2. Item 11, discuss and/or take action to allow Angela Marsalis with Crier CPA to have view-only access to our bank accounts. The caveat here is this would allow her to keep more accurate records. She could print statements as soon as they are available and complete monthly financial reports faster. Comments I have here is that now that we've moved the meeting, gets into a time crunch to get our financials approved into the council for approval, et cetera, et cetera. I would like to, I'll open this to discuss and/or take action on this, but if we have a motion to do this, I would personally suggest that we amend it to allow Angela and Robin access. We had recently voted to approve Ms. Cooper as Executive Director, view-only access. When I changed all the bank accounts recently, I found out that after all the work that we did to get that happening and the board approval and council approval, Ms. Cooper never followed up and got viewing access. So we did not have to remove her from the accounts, but I feel personally it's critical that the interim executive director have viewing access, and once we hire a new executive director, we will have to give them viewing access as we did previously. That said, I will entertain a motion to either discuss or take action on this line item.
I'll make a motion, we take action on this line item.
Do you want to make a motion to approve
Approve, yeah.
with the friendly amendment?
Yeah, with friendly
Adding
amendment.
Robin? Okay, thank you, Mr. Wyrick. Do I have a second?
Kroll,
Johannes.
second.
Johannes, second. Any discussion?
We're understanding this is just for viewing
Yes.
purposes only.
We're trying to get this approved so we can get it in the minutes, so that the minutes can be presented to the bank, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, any further discussion? Hearing none, vote from my right, please.
Kroll, yes.
Bond, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Wyrick, yes.
Motion passes. Item 12, director's comments. Ms. Sikora?
Hi, I wanted to say hi and introduce myself. I'm Robin Sikora. I'm the interim director at this time. I don't have a lot of experience in this area, so I'm very open to people telling me what I should be doing. I wanted to give an update on Pier 334. We did have someone contact us about the property behind Crossroads Liquor. She's a realtor representing the owner, so they are ready to talk with us about selling that property, so that's a good thing. And then I wanted to also point out, Barbara Webster came by the other day to tell me that the beautification committee has got their dedication to essential workers and medical personnel and first responders that is all ready to go, and that's going to be happening September 25th. So everyone should go there. That's at the municipal park. That's all I have.
Thank you. And you and the mayor are working together to get a date for this education seminar
Yes.
for the board, et cetera, et cetera.
That should be on the 15th of September.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to personally thank the mayor for being here, the current council members, the former council members. Your support and your willingness to show up and take an interest in what this board is doing is greatly appreciated. Always appreciate your input. I run a pretty loose meeting. I allowed people to talk that normally wouldn't be allowed to talk. I think it's good with this pool of intelligence that we have here and experience to get some other input, as long as we can do so in a timely manner. That said, that concludes the business of this meeting. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
Motion and second. We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Yes.
Before they take this system down to their new system, do you think there's any way we can get Sugar Rock to drop this system we got right now and bring up the old system, just where EDC board can see what the old
Well,
system
we will
look like.
see.
What is the old system?
Old system, old EDC.
Outside the city.
Oh, you are?
And if I get it, I will have to resign. Push you in.
Why would you be doing that? Why do you not want to live in the city?
I want to get out in the country and have some land.
Oh, I know.